everybody, and thanks for joining Stamp with Tracy for today's Wow Wednesday. So for today's Wow Wednesday, we are actually going to be using the detailed Dogwood stamp set, and this is from Celebration, and you can find that on page 15 of your Celebration brochure. Again, that is detailed Dogwood. One of the nice things about this is this Dogwood stamp individual one right there goes with our Petal Park Builder Punch. So if you have that punch actually coordinates with this stamp of the flower. There are, I think, 11 or 12 items in our celebration this year that coordinate with things from our annual catalog or our new January to April mini catalog. So it's awesome the way that Stampin' Up! Coordinates things to go together that we have or that we can buy to coordinate. So first off, let's get started. I'll show you some other things I'm actually going to be using as well. I am using a piece of this designer series paper, and that came from the Perennial Lavender paper. It's on the back of one of these beautiful lavender pieces. It's this little checked gingham piece. And then I'm also using the dies and the stamps from Perennial Postage. So both of those items are available in the current mini catalog, and the detailed Dogwood comes from the Celebration. So I'm going to start off with one of the larger pieces of the postage die cut, and I'm going to be stamping the Dogwood flowers in Granny Apple Green. So I'll ink those up. And stamp those. And again, that's Granny Apple Green. So there's what we have there. And then we're going to color it. And I'll be using my Granny Apple Green blends. And I'll be coloring in the leaves. And I'm just using the Granny Apple Green light at this time. I might come back and fill in some. Now, when I'm coloring a lot of times, especially when it comes to plants and animals and things, I don't always do a solid color of everything. I like to leave a little bit of whatever the color cardstock is behind me. And this is basic white. Now, there are several different colors of dogwoods. And tonight, I think I'm just going to leave these dogwoods to be pretty much a white flower. I will come back and color, give some color to the centers on the inside. Then I have another one that I colored in, and I'll show you that when we get done with this card. So I hope everybody's enjoying Celebration. Don't forget, during Celebration, there's a great sign up to join special going on as well. You can get this glass mat that I'm working on for free with your startup kit, or you can pick additional product with your startup kit. So if that interests you, don't hesitate to give me a call. So I'm just going to take my dark and just go over a few little places on some of these leaves, not much at all. And then I'm going to come back with my light again and blend that. That way it won't stand out so much. I hope you love our blending brushes. I know I do. It is very important to keep your caps tight on your blending brushes because they are alcohol based and they do dry out. So if you can see, I just gave it a little bit of different tone there with a little bit of dark, and then came back and blended it some more with the light. And then I'm going to take my dark Daffodil Delight. I think this is just such a beautiful stamp set. And color in the centers of my flowers. And that'll be with the Daffodil Delight. And then I have piece of scrap paper. I'll lay this on here. I want to stamp something on the background here. So I have this stamp that is like this hashtag stamp. And I'm going to stamp that with the Granny Apple Green. And I'm just randomly going to stamp that in a couple little places on here. Just to give it a little bit more of something. It also has some cute little dots in that stamp set that you could use as a nice accent in the background as well. This beautiful little leaves and this cute little dragonfly, and then some other little beautiful symbols. So then this one here, we are going to add to, this is a piece of 4" by 5 1/4" pecan pie, and it has been run through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with the softly sophisticated 3D embossing folder. And this is also a celebration item. So you can get this item. It's a bundle of a stamp set and this embossing folder with a $100 purchase. And this Dogwood stamp set is also with a $100 purchase that you can get that free during celebration. Now I am going to glue this down on my pecan pie card base, and I attach that piece. I believe this was maybe 1 3/4 inch by 4 1/4. I mean by 4. This piece of designer series paper, and then I took my linen thread and I wrapped it around 3 times and tied a little bow. Now for this here, we're going to go ahead and use dimensionals so we can pop that up. Again, that is the large die from the Perennial Postage stamp set that is in the current January to April mini. So many beautiful things in these new catalogs. Stampin' Up! Really does a wonderful job of keeping us supplied with new items. So I'm just going to be centering this top to bottom and left to right on top of there. And then I have another of the Perennial Postage dies. And I want to stamp this "You Are Loved." It says "You Are Loved Beyond Measure," but I only want to stamp "You Are Loved." So I could do it one of 2 ways. I could do it with my ink pad and just make sure that I'm only inking up right to, and if I have any ink on there, I'll wipe it off. And then I'm going to stamp it. And it says "You Are Loved." And then I have some matte. These are the ombre matte decorative dots. Now I did get a little P on there, or B, part of the B. So I am just going to make sure, cover that with a dot. Now if I would have did it with my, don't know if this little dot's going to be big enough. Let me grab my, see if that covers that. Yeah, so that works. But otherwise I would have just taken my regular Stampin' Right marker. This doesn't work with blends. And I would have just used the large tip there and then colored in the word "You Are Loved." And whenever I'm doing that with my marker like that, I always like to, what they say, huff, huff on that. So it inks it back up again. And there you have it. Now, I still didn't clean off that little bee there, but so you could have done that with the marker or the ink pad, either one. So then we're going to add this right down here, and we're going to use dimensionals on that as well. And then we'll take some more of these ombre matte decorative dots. And you can see how the color goes from dark to light. Put one of the larger ones there. And another one of the smaller ones right there. So there we have that. This is an absolutely gorgeous stamp set, and you can earn it for free during celebration. And then another one that I made, I will show you this. This is the Granny Apple Green, and this is a Granny Apple Green card base. A piece of Calypso Coral that is cut just 1/4 inch smaller, so that's 4 inches by 5.5. And then a piece of the Granny Apple Green, which is 3 3/4 by 5.5. And then I took my fingernail, or you could take your bone folder, whatever you want to use, and I distressed the edges. I stamped just the individual flower with Versamark. You could do that with Versamark, or you could actually do it with the color Granny Apple Green right on top of it. I stamped my Dogwood stamp on the basic white, colored it with Calypso Coral, Pecan Pie, and the Granny Apple Green blends. Stamped I Know You Will Get Through This, which again is from that Perennial Postage stamp set, and put that on there. This was on here, and this is on here with Stampin' Dimensionals. So the Calypso Coral is glued right down to the card base. So there we are with tonight's 2 cards. Again, this is the detailed Dogwood stamp set that you can earn during celebration, and the 2 cards that we made tonight. So don't forget, for Wow Wednesday, if you like and comment, you have a chance to win these beautiful 2 cards. So thanks so much for joining me, everyone, for Stamp with Tracy's Wow Wednesday today. Don't forget to like and comment for a chance to win these 2 cards. Any questions? I'm always here. Reach out and just contact me. Happy stamping, everyone. Bye-bye.